Notes of burnt popcorn. Very woody. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. Hi YouTube, Mike Howell here for Naps, New Age Pipe Smokers. Hope y'all are doing well today. I wanted to talk about a topic that gets brought up a whole lot in every pipe smoking forum I've ever been in, especially by beginners. Can you light your pipe with a cigar torch? The most common answer and the correct answer in my opinion is, well, yes you can. It will ignite your tobacco, but you probably shouldn't, and there are several reasons why. So I figured as long as I'm covering that, I might as well talk about the other main methods of lighting your pipe as well. So the three most common methods of people igniting tobacco are the cigar torch we discussed, a soft flame lighter such as a Bic or a Zippo, and good old stick matches. Now, what's the difference between these three kinds of methods of igniting your pipe? Not besides the obvious visual characteristics, but what's the difference in what it does to your tobacco? Well, the main difference is the amount of heat and the direction that heat takes. A soft flame lighter and a match, or any kind of soft flame, burn at a much lower heat than a torch does. This is because of the method of ignition in the case of this and this. They use the same fuel, butane, but in a soft flame lighter, the butane is simply passed out through a simple valve and ignited when it hits the air, which makes a lot of the fuel is wasted. It's not the most efficient way of burning a gas, but it produces a nice soft flame that's easy to manufacture. A torch lighter has oxygen inlets so that the oxygen and the fuel mix together before it is ignited and hits the open air. This produces a much more concentrated flame that burns much hotter, and it usually burns in a jet in one direction because of the nature of the tube that the oxygen and the fuel mix together in. Now, these soft flames, like I said, burn at a much lower temperature. Matches tend to burn at around 800 degrees Fahrenheit. A butane or lighter like this, or a Zippo, usually burns at around 1500. The Zippos are even a little bit lower. A propane torch or a butane torch such as this one will burn between 3000 and 3500 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's a significant difference. Why is that important? Well, a lot of the chemical compounds in tobacco that deliver the flavor to you can be destroyed when the heat's that high, and the ones that are left often burn very hot and cause horrible tongue bite, such as the sugars in Virginias or in aromatics. And it's easy enough to get your pipe too hot and give yourself tongue bite just smoking normally. And if you add in the strong flame of a torch lighter, it makes the chance just exponentially that much higher. And the amount of heat is only part of the equation. There is also the direction that heat is taking. Now, if you watch, this works the same way with a match and with a soft flame lighter. The flame goes up because the heat rises. So when I turn sideways to puff on my pipe, you can see that the flame is still going up. So the direction of the heat coming out is doing kind of that swoop motion, and it only gets drawn down when I puff on it. So it's only a small amount of heat going into your bowl, as opposed to with this torch lighter, well, it's still lit because I lit it with the lighter, but you can see that flame's not changing direction at all. To light your pipe with a torch, you have to point it downward at the bowl. Well, where's that flame going? All that heat is going straight down onto your tobacco, onto the rim of your pipe, and down into your throat and mouth and nose. It's a recipe for disaster. So yes, the answer is you should definitely not use a torch lighter to light your pipe. Matches or a soft flame lighter are definitely the best. And I know some people might say, well, what if it's windy? I can't light my pipe. If it's too windy to light your pipe with a regular lighter, if you can't find a spot enough out of the wind to do it, it's probably too windy to get a very satisfying smoke anyway. And you'd be best off finding a more sheltered area or waiting. Now, why is it that we can use a torch on cigars? Well, there's a lot more tobacco in a cigar. All that densely packed tobacco provides a long filter. It filters out, the heat dissipates much more over the course of it, and the impact isn't so intense. You only have a small bit of tobacco in your bowl compared to the amount of tobacco in a cigar to absorb all that heat. And once that torch hits it, all that heat has penetrated all the way through all of your tobacco. So even if you were to sit it down, put it aside, and pick it back up later, it's still going to have that burnt out, terrible taste. Much better. No burnt popcorn here. So, I hope that explains it fairly well. Brief and succinct without getting too complicated. There are other methods of lighting your pipe, such as hemp wick lighters and things like that, some of which burn at an even lower temperature than a regular lighter does. And they're great. They're just not that common, so I didn't think it would be worth it to cover them here. In general, for your pipe, stick to a regular lighter, or even better yet, matches. I'm just too lazy. Because matches can be a bit of a pain. And then you have to dispose of them and everything. You got to worry about catching your ashtray on fire, things like that. Tell you what, after you start a pipe cleaner bonfire in your ashtray, your roommates won't complain about the room note of your tobacco that much anymore, though, so there's that. The room note of a pipe cleaner bonfire is not pleasant. Anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Remember, don't use a torch to light your goddamn pipe. Use a match, use a Bic, or don't smoke your fucking pipe. Well, I guess you can do whatever you want. Burn your fucking pipe to a crisp if you want to. Hell, I just did. Have a nice day, y'all.